I buried a single kitchen scrap in my garden, just a simple piece of leftover food, nothing fancy or planned. It was the kind of thing most people would toss in the trash or maybe the compost bin, but I wanted to see what would happen if I just let nature take over, right where it landed. And what happened next surprised me way more than I expected. I thought maybe nothing would happen at all, or that it would just rot away quietly. No fertilizer, no compost pile. Just one forgotten piece of food, tucked into the soil like a secret message for the earth. It was almost like planting a mystery. It started with a simple idea: what if the smallest act could set off something bigger underground? Could one small organic scrap actually change the biology around it? Not as compost, more like a signal, a call to action for the life in the soil. So, I dug a shallow pocket in one of my raised beds, dropped the scrap inside, covered it up, and just walked away. No ceremony, no special treatment, no mixing, no turning, no rule following. Just letting soil do what soil does best, transforming what's given to it, quietly and invisibly. For the first few days, nothing looked different. The surface was still, as if nothing had changed at all. The plants nearby didn't react, the soil surface was totally normal. It was almost disappointing, like waiting for a magic trick that never happens. Honestly, it seemed like a pointless experiment, until it rained. That's when things started to shift. That's when I checked the spot again. I was curious if the rain had done anything, or if the scrap was just soggy and forgotten. The soil above the scrap was darker, not just damp, but alive. It had a different texture, like it had fluffed itself up from the inside out. The earth felt richer, almost springy under my fingers. And then I noticed something wild. The plants nearest to that spot were growing faster than the rest of the row. Their leaves looked a little greener, a little more vibrant. Something was happening below ground. It was like a hidden world was waking up, all because of that one scrap. The life in the soil, bacteria, fungi, and all those tiny decomposers, had gathered right around my buried scrap. It was like a microscopic party, all centered on that little piece of food. To them, kitchen scraps aren't garbage, they're like energy beacons. First came the microbes, then the fungi. Each wave of life built on the last, creating a chain reaction. Then the little predators that feed on them. The soil was teeming with activity, a whole food web in miniature. What I'd buried wasn't food for the plant, it was food for the whole underground system. And systems respond. The entire ecosystem shifted just from that one act. When I finally dug down at the end, the scrap was almost gone. In its place was a little pocket of rich, living earth. In its place, a ring of fine feeder roots, all reaching in like the plant had sensed a little pocket of life and wanted in. The roots had found the hot spot and claimed it. That's the part that blew my mind. The plant knew exactly where the action was, and it reached out to join the feast. I hadn't fertilized or amended anything. No store-bought solutions, no fancy products, just nature doing its thing. Just made one tiny hot spot, and the soil rearranged itself around it. The change was local, but powerful. This works with almost anything organic. You don't need anything special, just the scraps you'd normally throw away. A fruit core, a veggie end, a leaf, even the bits you think are useless. Even a stale chunk of bread. Anything that once lived can become a spark for soil life. Not as compost, but as a biological magnet. It's like dropping a tiny invitation for life to gather and thrive. It won't replace composting, and it's not a fix for dead soil. But it's a way to boost what's already there, to give your garden a little nudge. But if your soil's already halfway alive, burying a scrap is a low-effort way to spark microbe pockets and pull roots deeper. One small scrap, one tiny spark. It's a simple act, with a surprisingly big impact. A whole underground chain reaction. The ripple effect can change the way your garden grows, one scrap at a time. If this got you thinking differently about soil, like, share, and subscribe as I keep decoding the dirt. There's a whole world beneath our feet, and we're just getting started.